It whispers in the background of every decision, cloaked as caution, prudence, or even ambition. You think fear protects you, that it keeps you safe. But what if fear isn't a protector? What if it's a prison and you've mistaken the walls for security? Fear isn't just an emotion, it's a belief. It's the assumption that something will harm you, something will be taken from you, or something will reveal your inadequacy, and so you live bound to it, negotiating with it, trying to outsmart it. But here's the truth you refuse to face. As long as fear governs your life, you will never truly live. You will exist, but you will not live. The ending of fear isn't what you think it is. It's not a battle. It's not about overpowering it with courage or drowning it in positive affirmations. Fear cannot be fought because fear is not external. It's not out there in the world. It's within you, woven into the stories your mind tells to keep you small, to keep you safe. But here's the irony. The safety fear promises is an illusion. The more you listen to it, the more it confines you, feeding on your belief in its power. Have you ever truly questioned your fear? Not rationalized it, not justified it, but looked at it. Fear thrives in avoidance. It grows in the shadows where you refuse to shine your attention. But what happens when you stop running? When you stand still and face the thing you've spent your life avoiding? Fear is a mirage, and it dissolves the moment you confront it. Not with force, but with clarity. The secret to the ending of fear lies in understanding its nature. Fear is always about the future. It is never about the present moment. Think about it. When you are fully present, fear cannot exist. Fear needs time. It needs you to project yourself into a future that hasn't happened, to imagine outcomes that aren't real. The moment you anchor yourself in the now, fear loses its foundation. But here's the deeper truth. Fear isn't really about the future. It's about your relationship with uncertainty. You've been taught to fear the unknown, to see it as a threat rather than as an open field of possibility. Fear feeds on your need for control, your need to know what's coming. But life is uncontrollable. Life is unknowable. And the harder you cling to the illusion of control, the more fear tightens its grip on you. The ending of fear begins with surrender. Not surrender to fear, but surrender to life itself. To accept that you cannot control what happens next. That pain may come, that loss is inevitable, and that uncertainty is the very nature of existence. This realization. When you stop resisting the reality of life, fear loses its power, because fear only exists as resistance. It cannot survive in acceptance. But here's the part you won't want to hear. Ending fear requires letting go of your identity. You are afraid because you have something to protect. Your image, your reputation, your possessions, your sense of self. Fear is the byproduct of attachment. The more tightly you cling to what you think you are, the more terrified you become of losing it. To end fear, you must see through the illusion of the self you are so desperately trying to preserve. Who would you be without fear? Not fearless. That's another illusion. Fearlessness is not the absence of fear, but the presence of clarity. It is seeing fear for what it is, a thought, a projection, a shadow. It is knowing that fear has no substance beyond the meaning you give it. When you stop feeding it with your belief, fear starves. It dies not because you killed it, but because you saw it was never alive to begin with. The ending of fear is not an event. It's a process of waking up. Waking up to the reality that fear is not your enemy. It's a signal, a mirror, reflecting where you are still holding on, still clinging, still unwilling to face life as it is. The ending of fear is the beginning of freedom. Freedom not from life's challenges, but from the illusion that those challenges define you. And in that freedom, you discover something profound. Life was never against you. The fear you've been running from was never a monster. It was the shadow cast by your own mind. The moment you stop running, the shadow disappears, and in its place, you find the truth that was always there. You were never broken, never incomplete, and never in danger. Fear didn't need to be conquered. It needed to be seen. And once you see it, you are free. This has been for you until you're